In a culture where defying authority is frowned upon and being self-reliant is seen as risky, men from Sigma will always stand out. These astute individualists are known for their unwavering resistance to deferring to superiors, whether they be a lover, a friend, or an employer. They are also known for their fierce individualism, cool confidence, and unwavering independence. Sigma men are notoriously difficult to handle. Even if someone can convince them, it will probably be of their own free will as opposed to the outcome of coercion or manipulation. The fact that they are so fiercely uncontrollable, however, is a credit to their strength and courage in sticking up for what they believe in, even though many people would find this conduct dangerous. Not the rejection of any one leader, but rather the denial of conceit and deceit in general. Here are 10 reasons why it is impossible to control a Sigma male, beginning with the fact that they will never submit because they value their freedom highly. These men are unyielding to manipulation and will not yield to anything or anybody. They view any attempt to tame them as a danger to their independence, thus they will fight back. They won't tolerate situations when someone is trying to impose themselves as a subordinate and will fight back against any attempts to do so. Since they find it intolerable when others try to manipulate them, Sigma men are frequently perceived as being against authority as a result of this quality. They are extremely difficult to work with and manage. They will not blindly obey any rules or directives they disagree with, and they will always make sure to speak their opinions if they think anything is wrong if you try to force them into a subordinate position or question their freedom. Yes, if everything is in line with their principles, they can be fairly cooperative and willing to comply. However, convincing them to act against their moral principles is next to impossible. Because of this, many Sigmas are thought of as loners who prefer to work alone. They are very sensitive and unafraid to speak out for what they believe in. Many male Sigmas have improved awareness and intuition, which helps them make snap decisions about people and situations. Because of their great sense, they can tell the difference between people who genuinely want to help them and others who could be attempting to manipulate or control them. They might be less susceptible to deception or being manipulated by others. Because they have an intuitive sense of who they are and can see through lies and deception, Sigma males are frequently difficult to control. It's difficult to force someone to do anything that goes against their values or personal goals. Additionally, it is challenging to predict their behavior and manage them under predetermined plans or strategies due to their strong perceptual abilities. While getting them to do something might be possible, it will probably need to be done in a way that avoids direct manipulation or coercion. This doesn't imply that they are impervious to control, but rather that it gets challenging to uphold with time. 3. They have firm boundaries. These men prioritize their own time, space, and energy while having a clear understanding of their limits. Since they are adept at establishing and enforcing boundaries and are clear communicators who let others know when they are crossed, they are challenging to command. They need to be forced into submitting by force. This suggests that you must coerce them into giving up their autonomy and power, which is difficult for someone with strict boundaries. Male Sigmas do not submit to intimidation and do not let others set their boundaries or dictate how they conduct their lives. When someone tries to transgress their limits, Sigmas will push back and reject control, making them far more difficult to manage. However, some people may find their independence intimidating. Sigmas see this as a source of power and freedom. In addition to being guardians of their own space, they also avoid negative people and situations. While some may see them as distant and alone, they know when to move on and don't let anyone control their journey. Aware of their surroundings and the people in them, Sigma men know that tolerating poisonous behavior is detrimental to their well-being. So they decided to stay away from it. Fourthly, they are logical thinkers. Male Sigmas tend to be sharp thinkers and have a strong sense of pragmatism. They don't follow conventional wisdom or take things at face value. They possess a highly analytical mind and can objectively assess occurrences. Because of their objectivity and realism, they are more difficult to govern because their unconventional attitude is unpredictable and you can't control someone whose actions you can't predict. As a result, they are much more difficult to govern than people who follow accepted rules. Sigma men follow their own rules rather than just believing what they are told. They may not respond well to some tactics that work effectively on other people. Those trying to keep them in line may find it frustrating as they do not influence them. They don't easily comply with other people's expectations, and as a result, they are frequently perceived as rebels without a cause. But this couldn't be further from the truth, as people frequently follow their values and motivations in life. Since they can reason critically and form their own opinions and beliefs, they have the freedom to make decisions without being influenced by others. It may be difficult to penetrate the fortress-like security mechanism inside their skull, which protects them against unwelcome influence and manipulation. 5. They are reserved and mysterious. A Sigma man prefers to keep to himself, making him difficult to come to know. Typically, Sigmas don't reveal their identities and speak slowly. They are guarded and calculated when it comes to social interaction. Their guarded nature makes them hard to manage, given how tough it is to fool someone. If you are unaware of their emotions and ideas, often preferring to keep people in the dark about their true motivations, Sigma males can be enigmatic. They are deliberate people who think things through and rarely divulge their plans to others. They do this to protect themselves by keeping people in the dark, not out of malice. Sigmas avoid being taken advantage of or controlled by others who would like to exploit their strengths. While some might view this as suspicious behavior, Sigma is merely attempting to maintain its independence. It's challenging to control a Sigma male if you can't get close enough to him or don't understand what makes him tick. Sigma himself may therefore efficiently protect himself as a result of it, even though those attempting to manage him may find it annoying. Because of this, he may use his mystery and reserve as a strength rather than a flaw. 6 Separations from worldly possessions. Symbols, prestige, material goods, or social acceptance are not important to Sigma males. They do not associate possessions or wealth with happiness or fulfillment. They strive to lead a straightforward, uncomplicated life. It is therefore challenging to manage people with material items. Don't misunderstand me. However, they do so on their terms and only indulge in the material world when it supports their values and objectives. Sigma men are not opposed to owning nice things or making money. Sigmas can, therefore, become successful or even affluent even if they may be hard to manage through financial goods. They simply won't allow anyone to use or manipulate their road to success rather than according to social norms and attempting to impress others. Sigmas have no problem leading autonomous, honest lives. They place more importance on upholding their principles than amassing useless things and opulence for show. They are aware that external success or societal acceptance cannot provide long-lasting fulfillment. By refusing control and distancing oneself from external validation, this detachment enables individuals to develop a strong sense of self without needing anyone's approval. In the face of difficulty, Sigmas maintain their independence and autonomy. They are exceedingly independent. Number 7. All of their needs, emotional, physical, and financial, are met by Sigma men. They don't depend on other people for financial assistance, validation, or acceptance. They are independent in other facets of their lives as well. Instead of waiting for someone else to complete a task for them, they will act and complete it themselves. They don't allow outside factors to rule their life or direct their behavior. Therefore, it's challenging to manipulate them. Additionally, when something goes wrong, they own up to their mistakes and don't point the finger or offer justifications. They are free thinkers who rely on their instincts and choose their path rather than attempting to blend in. Because they make judgments primarily on the internal drive rather than outside constraints, they are challenging to manage. Many Sigma guys may not even be aware of how independent they are because it comes naturally to them. Even though they may not acknowledge it, their independence is a significant source of their strength and resilience. 8. They don't follow the crowd, in contrast to society, which enjoys labeling people according to predetermined notions. The social expectations, identities, and conventions have no appeal to Sigma males. They won't dress in the same way as everyone else, partake in the same pastimes, or have the same interests as everyone else. They prefer to be independent thinkers who forge their course and defy prevailing social norms. They reject conformity, thus they don't want to be dominated by anyone or anything. Those who attempt to manipulate people are extremely tough to control. Because they see Sigma men as a direct threat to their independence and freedom, they will fight back and grow even more nonconformist. They have a psychological barrier that protects them from being duped by coercion or other group pressure techniques because of their lone wolf nature. They are 9 and possess a strong sense of self. Males are aware of their values and are clear about who they are and what they stand for. They won't simply comply with someone else's requests because it may be quicker or more convenient right now. This may be interpreted as being rebellious or stubborn, but it also shows their tenacity and self-assurance. They have confidence in their choices and decisions and do not define themselves by those of others or by their approval. Unlike individuals who are insecure and lacking in self-worth, Sigma men are not persuaded by outside influences such as pressure or manipulation, making it difficult to manage them. They are committed to pursuing their goals and won't stray from their course. It is quite difficult to attack someone's sense of self or identity when trying to control a Sigma. They desire independence beyond all else. These males are very protective of their freedom. They fight to avoid being used and to maintain their independence. This is not done out of conceit or disregard for others, but rather out of a conscious determination to uphold their morals and principles. They recognize that only they are in charge of their own lives and make decisions following that understanding. How people seek relationships and occupations demonstrates this. They won't give up their independence or alter who they are to appease others or fit into a particular stereotype, even when it would be easier to conform. Sigma will remain independent and authentic in the face of pressure. This makes it difficult to manipulate, as they will always choose their path, regardless of what anyone else says.